Welcome back to Cord Cutting. This week, episode 25, the show where I give you my thoughts on some of the biggest stories from the past week. Now, this is my opinion on what I think is the most important stories going forward. If you want to learn more about any of these stories, down in the show notes, I have links to all the stories for you to read in great depth. Also, if you visit cordcardsnews.com, every day we're posting 5, 6, 7 or more stories all about the world of cord cutting. So check it out. We'll love your support there. But hey, there's a ton of news to cover this week, and if there's a story I don't cover you think I should, leave us a comment. I'd love to know. But let's dive right into it. Now, number one is a story that came out today. We have an end date for the net neutrality rules. So you remember last December, the FCC voted to basically return control of the internet to the FTC. About in 2015, if I'm remembering right, it was the FCC passed a rule that reclassed the internet and brought it under the FCC's rules. Now, new administration has ruled that it's going to go back to the FTC, and the so-called net neutrality rules will be coming to an end. Now, they've announced now on June 11th, 2018, net neutrality rules that were enacted in 2015 will come to an end. What does this mean? Well, right now, we're not really fully sure because of a few things. Next week, there's a vote in the Senate that will about restoring the rules. It's not necessarily a new law, but with the Senate oversight rule, they're trying to take advantage of a clause there that allow them to force the FCC to reimpose these rules. Many states are out there passing laws. Connecticut was the most recent. That looks like it's all but a done deal in Connecticut right now. California, New York has some underway. Washington, I believe, is one of the few that's already passed it. Many other states have already have bills in the process of being presented on their House or Senate, etc. So it's far from over. What can you do? Well, I recommend three things. Contact your state and federal representatives, so your House, your Senator, your representative, your state level ones too. Politely call. Now, I highly recommend this. Be polite. If you're going to be rude, they're just going to disregard what you say, and it probably will honestly hurt your cause there. Number two, don't email. Send a physical letter in the mail. Put a stamp on it, just like the old days. You type it on the computer and then hit print, sign it, and send it in. A physical letter is far more impactful than sending an email. Emails are easily sent to spam, easily ignored, just like, oh, we got 30 emails, whatever. But a physical letter has a much greater impact. So if you're concerned for or against, those are the steps I recommend you take. There's a lot of things you can do out there about net neutrality. The biggest thing you can do, again, is be polite, let your voice be heard, and avoid the temptation of screaming out. No matter what side you're on, you're only going to hurt your argument. Hey, let's keep going. Love to know your thoughts, though. Net neutrality, are you for or against it? Why? Leave us a comment. I want to know what your thoughts are. Next up is PlayStation Vue. Now, last week we talked a little bit about this. PlayStation Vue lost access to all Sinclair logos. So they've lost now Tribune logos and Sinclair logos. That dropped them severely down in the ranking of number of services with the most number of local channels. Sinclair, though, has shot back. They have announced that they intend to launch a national version of the Fox feed. Now, this will not include your local news, local programming, etc. It will include Fox primetime content, and it will include a smattering content from Fox News, Fox Business, S1, Fox Soccer Plus. So it seems like during the day when all the syndicated program would be aired on your local Fox, you're going to take all that and, I guess, create this conglomeration ball of mess, we'll call it, Fox-owned content to replace all that. So the downside is you won't get your locals. Many of these stations stream online, so that's something you can look at. But I would recommend you check this out. There is a ton of possibility here. Fubo TV already does this a little differently. YouTube TV does it. I'm not sure how similar this would be to the YouTube TV version. But PlayStation Vue says that they intend to replace it in all markets that lost Fox. Now, what about the other markets? There's other markets where they don't have Fox yet. Maybe they have a deal and it's just not there yet. Or maybe it's a smaller Fox operator and they don't have access to that yet. They haven't said if they intend to roll this out nationwide in any markets they don't have. But the good news is if you have PlayStation Vue, you lost your local Fox affiliate through the Sinclair deal, there's an effort. Now, if you lost CBS, NBC, ABC, you're still out of luck. There's no plans at this time to replace that on PlayStation Vue. But this is an interesting move. In the past, locals have had a great amount of control. If they would pull their content in a pricing dispute, there wasn't a lot that a PlayStation Vue, a DirecTV, a Dish, etc. could do about that. Now, if parent company Fox is going to come in here and say, hey, we will give you a national fee to replace that, it severely weakens the locals' ability in negotiations with cable networks. Is that going to be good or bad for cord cutters, for cable subscribers, for Americans? We don't know yet. That's going to be something interesting to watch. It'll be interesting to see if Fox, or excuse me, if CBS, NBC, and ABC follow suit in the future. So keep a close eye on this. Is this successful? Does this bring Sinclair back? We'll see. Sinclair's kind of like, well, PlayStation Vue is so small, it doesn't matter. Not financial input to us. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Next up is Google's new Android TV dongle. So we reported this about a month ago. The FCC has approved a dongle that looks just like the Chromecast second generation with the little dongle with the attached HDMI cable. And it was an Android TV device with a remote, which also has Chromecast built into it because it's Android TV. This week, they officially announced it as a developer. They call it the ADT2 developer device for developers to test out the new Android P version of Android TV. There's a few differences. The version that was approved by the FCC included a Google icon, a little Google G on it. This one that went to the developers does not. It begs the question, is this going to still come out to the public? If you think back to when the last time they had a developer device like this, it was called the ADT1, and that was quickly released later that year as the Nexus player. Minor tweaks to how the body of it looked, but the game controller that was released with that was exactly the same as the Nexus version, and it was effectively the same hardware on the inside, just a slightly different case change. You gotta wonder if Google's going to do the same thing here. Yeah, they're releasing this to the general public. Maybe this fall we will get the Android TV dongle we've been wanting, 4K, HDR, all that. The cheaper one. The MyBox has been around for a couple years now. Maybe Google intends to bring out another cheaper version, sub $100, maybe around $60, $70 price point Android TV device with Chromecast built into it. It does raise the question, what's the future of Chromecast? With Chromecast being kind of at pinnacle, there's nothing physically hardware needed to change for Chromecast. Everything's software. Does Google ever need to release a third generation? They have the Ultra, they have the regular Chromecast, and really the Ultra, unless 8K really takes off and 4K is still struggling to get its legs underneath it, there's really no need to launch another version of a Chromecast right now. So maybe instead of developing Chromecast going forward, do you release this Android, the exact same thing but with Android TV on it, still has Chromecast capabilities in it, still can do everything a Chromecast can do, but if this is going to be like $60 or so, that's the same price as the Chromecast Ultra. So do you discontinue the Chromecast Ultra, have the this Android TV dongle, and then use that if you want to have Chromecast capabilities? Hey, you can still cast from your phone, control it from your phone if you want. If you want a remote with a user interface, that's still there now with Android TV. So very interesting to see what happens there. Fingers crossed they actually come up with something workable there, but keep a close eye on this. What's Google going to do? More importantly, is Chromecast, the physical player, added in. Now with Android TV having built in, DVD players, many TV sets have Chromecast built in. Maybe Google's saying, hey, we don't need to continue to develop a new version of the Chromecast player. We'll wait and see what happens with that. Last up, one of the big stories to keep a close eye on, Roku is rolling out their 8.1 update. It started at the beginning of the month. A collection of players have it. Roku typically does these in layers, so if you don't have 8.1, in the next week or two you probably will have it. But now the Roku channel, which is their free streaming service that includes ad-supported movies and TV shows, is now adding their free news section. So ABC News, Cheddar, People, Newsy, and other news organizations are now offering free live streams of news. And ABC News, this is a new thing. Cheddar's been around, so they're taking their free stream that's been on other services, also putting in here. People TV, News, etc. are all bringing great free streams of news to your Roku. So if you have a Roku, highly recommend you check that out. The Roku channel is coming to other devices later this year. For now, it's exclusive to Roku Players. But free movies, free TV shows, and now free news. So one more great way for core cars to get access to news without having to shell out a ton of money every year. Hey, what do you think of these stories? Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. But these are my big 4 stories from the past week. These are the stories I think will be most influential going forward. I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a comment, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Check us out over at Core Cars News. And every week, right here, 8 p.m. Eastern, for about an hour on our YouTube channel, we are live answering your core car related questions, hopefully helping you get the most from your core cutting experience. Thank you for watching. Take care. Please subscribe.